What's up, everyone? If you're here to learn how to handstand walk, we have got the progression for you. Before we get rolling, sort of a prerequisite to learning is you got to be able to support your body weight in a handstand against the wall. That's going to be part of this progression that I show you here, but if you're not there quite yet, that is step one. Once we've established that you can hold yourself inverted, I'm going to have Sherb do that here in a second. We want to kind of differentiate our hand position and our head position from a handstand push-up, for example. So Sherb's going to kick up, and for handstand walking, he's going to think about having his hands a little narrower, more kind of right under his shoulders, and he's also going to look at his hands. So you can see he's kind of got his eyes facing downward. If he were doing handstand push-ups, his eyes would be looking back at that camera, but he's going to look at his hands. Once we have that inverted positioning, we're looking to start to shift the weight from one hand to another. Initially, this can be just as simple as gently moving from one side to the other, progressing all the way to full-blown shoulder taps. So if Sherb kicks upside down, he can just start with gently shifting his weight from side to side, and then if he gets more comfortable, he can lift the hands, and then eventually getting into that shoulder tap. Once we have the shoulder tap, you can start to progress into the walk itself, but if going out onto the floor is a little bit too intimidating to start, we've got two kind of intermediate steps. The first one is going to be to kick into a handstand hold, except Sherb is going to start with his hands a couple feet off of the wall. He's going to kick up until his heels touch. Once his heels are in place, he'll take a couple steps forward just like that. He'll kick down. If he can do that from like an extra 6 inches away or so. You can really see that. Heels are on the wall, and then he takes those steps forward. Okay? This is a really important step because when you're learning to handstand walk, you have to get comfortable with the idea of your feet getting over your hands as opposed to behind them. Lots of times when people are learning to handstand walk, they're intimidated to kick up and get their feet out in front of them, and they end up doing kind of the wheelbarrow, which we'll show here. Ted'll cut it in, probably. Okay, but we need to get comfortable with the feet out in front of the hands, and that drill does just that because if you look back, his feet are in fact in front of his hands. Once he's good with that, you have the option to either go out into the wilderness, go out onto the floor and start practicing. If that, again, is still a little bit too intimidating, what we're going to do now is just back Sherb up a little bit. He's going to kick up so that he has to take a couple of steps with his hands before his feet bump into the wall. And it can be really close. So there, look, 1, 2, 3, a couple steps. His heels bump into the wall, and then he kicks down. You can do that again. Okay. And we can make this as close to the wall as needed, or as Sherb gets a little more comfortable, at this point, he's far enough away from the wall that I would tell him to go out into free space. But lots of times the wall kind of provides a little bit of that maybe emotional support that you need to get comfortable with the movement. Once you can do that, you have to get out into the floor. This is one of those skills where you have to practice it to develop it. There are only so many drills. It's hard to have somebody kind of hold your feet and walk across the floor. You have to be comfortable with the idea of falling, maybe getting a bump or a bruise here and there, but you will eventually kind of pick up the skill just through practice alone. So there you go, couple of progressions, a way to build you from 0 to hero in handstand walking. Good luck.